After becoming the new target of the pacifista, the soldiers had to flee the area to avoid danger. Outside, the Vice Admiral of the Navy also realized that Vegapunk had overridden his orders, which was why there was such chaos. The robot army was gaining the upper hand, making the group above happy. More importantly, Frankie didn't understand why they were rushing straight down like this. The old man explained that the clouds had adhesive properties, and his tires were made of clouds, so he wasn't afraid of falling. He asked Atlas to quickly find Bonney so they could rescue her, as she must be very scared and lonely right now. Sanji heard this and also went out to search, but below he only heard loud explosions and had no idea where Bonney was. At this moment, he knew he had to focus on searching through his sensing ability, which worked like a radar specifically for finding the girls he cared about. Very quickly, an image of Bonney sitting in a corner appeared. Sanji immediately reported the location to Vegapunk to change direction. Frankie didn't quite believe it and had to ask if he was sure, because he didn't see anything. The young man also scolded him, saying his radar had never been wrong. Dr. Vegapunk also trusted him, but the speed was too slow. Sanji was afraid that girl would be in trouble, so he quickly ran ahead using his skills. On this side, Bonney felt relieved seeing the pacifista return to their side again. Before she could smile for long, she was attacked by Navy Vice Admiral Pomsky. He had been looking for her because she dared to turn his men into children and old people. The soldiers came one after another, forcing Bonney to shoot. She dodged flexibly and then used her devil fruit ability, making the three men imagine their bodies reduced to dry skeletons. Thanks to this, she managed to hold back the Vice Admiral for a bit, but when she tried to run away, she was targeted by another pacifista. It turned out this old woman had the ability to control anything she rode on. The devil fruit user Nori Navy Vice Admiral Bluegrass. She wondered if killing Bonney would make the curse placed on her disappear. Being targeted, Bonney saw an image of her father and gave up. The old woman showed no mercy and immediately shot. Fortunately, Sanji was there to help his friend dodge to the side. After hearing about Kuma being her little father, the young man was quite sympathetic, but still advised her to accept the truth that it was no longer him. As soon as he finished speaking, Pomsky chased after him and attacked in his beast form. At this moment, a few other pacifista arrived to help the pair under orders from Vegapunk. Thanks to this, everyone was able to leave safely. The two were immediately called onto the vehicle to return to the top, as it was too dangerous down here. At the same time, Nami's group was trying to transport Robin as gently as possible. They were also afraid of hurting their friend, so they had to apologize beforehand and ask her to endure a little longer. Just as they were about to set off, Stussy demanded to stay because she still had work to do. Looking into her eyes, Edison also agreed and urged the others to leave quickly. Usopp looked worried and asked again to be sure if it was okay. Edison said it was her wish, so not to worry. Nami also smiled and said goodbye, promising to meet again later. Out at sea at this moment, Saint Saturn knew he could no longer rely on the Navy, so he stood up. At the same time, Zoro was still being held back by Lucci. His fighting skills were no match for our swordsman, but his speed was much greater, constantly hiding and launching surprise attacks. He also advised Zoro to give up because resistance was useless. Hearing this, he was quite annoyed because this guy always looked down on others. Above, the battle between Luffy and Admiral Kizaru was still very intense, with neither side gaining a significant advantage. The main character dodged every light beam shot at him while laughing gleefully. His opponent felt that fighting like this was going nowhere. He said they had their reasons, but Luffy didn't care. The Leopard Man also declared that all of them would be destroyed. Zoro blocked the malicious attacks aimed at him and told him to keep running his mouth. While the four powerful warriors were concentrating, tremors began to occur at sea. The pressure created by Saint Saturn was immediately recognized by Admiral Kizaru and Luffy. Chopper, who was running with everyone inside, suddenly felt uneasy. Jinbei, who was transporting luggage, also sensed that something bad was happening at sea. Dark clouds kept coming, and the Marines on the ship had no idea what was happening. The sky was bright, but in the next second, it was swallowed by darkness. This scene made the Vice Admiral sweat because he couldn't believe it. Immediately after, a voice ordered all pacifistas to stop. This order was effective immediately, leaving Sanji's group confused. Atlas tried to give new orders for the pacifistas to protect them, but it was ineffective. In her mind, she knew that the only people with higher authority than her were the five elders. In the next second, a large explosion occurred, leaving the nearby Marines confused. A five-pointed star also slowly appeared on the ground. Power radiated from it everywhere, making everyone worried, and the sky also changed because of it. Sanji asked Dr. Vegapunk to move higher to observe what was happening. Outside, the Marine Vice Admiral ordered all soldiers on the island to retreat. Because Lord Saturn, one of the 5 elders, would be coming to Egghead Island, no one below the rank of lieutenant commander was allowed to see him. This news frightened those nearby. The large explosion continued, helping Dr. Vegapunk realize that the situation was gradually getting worse as one of the 5 elders had come here. Frankie, who knew nothing, also asked and was answered. They are the people with the highest power in the world. Bonney's face also clearly showed fear. At this moment, something black appeared inside the star-shaped circle. Legs slowly grew out, along with red eyes, because he was high up. Sanji witnessed the entire transformation. The disgusting creature then transformed into a human form resembling a demon from hell. Saint Saturn possessed a giant body and a terrifying appearance, to the point that a marine who didn't know thought it was a monster. As a result, he was immediately defeated by the elder with just a look. His comrades saw this and had to quickly leave. The old man sighed that it had been a long time since he stood on the ground like this. He was also considered the god at the forefront of science and defense. One of the 5 elders. The people with the highest power in the world government. Bonney also didn't know what that monster was. Above, Kizaru had also arrived and shot directly at the vehicle. Sanji quickly warned Dr. Vegapunk to dodge to the side, but they fell freely downwards. Fortunately, Kizaru couldn't attack further because Luffy had caught up. He seemed to be close to his limit in this form, which is why he was so slow. The opponent also knew this, so there was no need to rush. Frankie asked the main character to do something, so he also tried. The young man inflated an arm, but before he could do anything, he was grazed by the opponent's shot, causing his body to spin. But thanks to this, Luffy came up with an idea to defeat the opponent. Waiting for Kizaru to attack again, the main character quickly strengthened his haki in his hand and punched. At first, it missed, but Luffy used his elastic body to make the punch bounce back. That move was so unexpected that Kizaru couldn't dodge. As a result, he was punched and his head was deformed. Below, Saint Saturn witnessed everything and called Luffy Nika. After knocking away the Marine Admiral, he also returned to his original form because he had reached his limit. As for the group in the vehicle, they suffered the same fate. Falling from a height, everyone was thrown far away. But fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Sanji worried about Bonney and Atlas, asking if they were okay. When the new enemy approached, hearing the noise, Bonney also woke up and saw this appearance. Dr. Vegapunk also tried to speak, and the other party replied, thinking he was dead. Bonney's eyes at this moment showed an indescribable fear, along with hatred for this person, so she immediately got up. She didn't say anything and immediately ran over with the intention of attacking. Picking up the sword, and just like that, Bonney jumped in and stabbed while the other party calmly stood and watched. Just like that, the little one successfully made Saturn bleed.